Hi, I'm Nicholas Burtner with School of Permaculture, and guys, I got a great thing for you today. I'm here at another wonderful interview with Iginia Boccalandro. How are you?
I'm doing great.
High five, high five.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. She's the founder of the Carbon Economy series here in the South, which is a nonprofit educational construct which is doing amazing work. But we kind of know what it is, people know what that is, but Iginia, we really kind of want to know about you. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So where does this story begin? Where did you get the passion to do what you do? You've done so much very interesting things. I mean, where did it all start?
Well, you know, I'm very interested in air because we cannot live very long without air. And so what I see is that those gases, oxygen, nitrogen, and then carbon dioxide, methane, are at a very, very delicate balance. And with fossil fuels burning things, we began to alter that balance. And so for me, it was all the efforts to sequester carbon or stop climate change have been based on our habits and how do we change our habits. The problem with changing habits is it takes time. And I think we don't have that much time. So I was looking for how could we be more proactive and make changes that would really make a difference. Well, it turns out that the way we got here, the earth, all the host animals and plants that have been here to ensure our survival have been in a system of natural processes that have been millions, if not billions of years. And those biological forces can save us right now as well. And so when you look at things from a permaculture designer viewpoint, you're studying systems, you're doing biomimicry, you're looking at doing what nature has always done, which is to grab sun energy, bring it down, create sugar, and those sugars then begin to create the systems of life that have us here right now.
That is amazing. Very good explanation on the different energy trophic levels. So when you figured all that stuff out, like where did it kind of like switch for you? Like where it kind of came in? And I remember I heard a story about I think President Reagan was at some point giving you a call because of some basically aid work that you were doing.
Yeah. You've just dated me with President Reagan, but I was very young. I was a baby. I was in diapers when he called. But actually,
of course,
we found that there was an excess of really good food going into the dumpsters. And I was dumpster diving, getting food for a friend's cockatiel.
Dumpster diving.
Dumpster diving.
Yes.
And when I went in there, the guy at the Smith's Food King said, "Hey, we can't have you jumping in there, so I'm going to put it here on the side of the dock." And then we began to get so much produce that there weren't enough birds to feed, so we started bringing the food to a food bank. And then the food bank was like, "It's perishable, it's too much trouble, please don't bring any more." So we started up a food bank. And after 3 or 4 years, I actually entered the process in the 3rd year. And from the 3rd to the 5th year, those 2 years, it grew so much we were distributing 100,000 pounds of food a week to anybody who would come to volunteer or to give a donation, any donation. You didn't have to have food stamps, you didn't have to have a social security number, no paperwork. And that year we got the award from Secretary of Health and Human Services, Margaret Heckler, for community social work on the ground. But what was interesting was that I was answering the phone that day and it said, "Please do not hang up. This is the office of the President of the United States," which immediately made me think, this is a prank call. But it was official, so I stayed there, and then I called the person who had started it, Celeste McKinley, who has passed, an amazing woman in Las Vegas, Nevada. She had founded Gleaners, and I don't know if you're familiar with the term Gleaners. It's a biblical, it's from the Bible, and the Gleaners.
Awesome.
Yeah. The Gleaners were the people that came through a field after they had harvested and picked up the pieces of corn or the produce that wasn't quite good enough to go to market. And they lived off of that. And the way that they did it is they picked it up and they sorted through it, which was exactly what we did. We were picking up 4 5-ton trucks a day with pallets, and we'd bring it in, we'd sort through it, and then we'd put it on really beautiful display. Smith Food Kings in Las Vegas was our partner, so they had given us old display shelving and everything, and people walked along with their cart with dignity and picked up their food.
It's amazing.
And it was incredible. Not only was it amazing for us and the people, but Smith's Food King was writing off as a tax deductible donation 100,000 pounds of food a week. Now, once that happened, we got national attention. Ronald Reagan called us up and congratulated us over the phone. It was a very cool thing. And unfortunately, once Celeste passed, the pig farmer that we were giving the food that we couldn't use, and you know this from permaculture, that the highest good that comes from food is to people, and then if you can't feed it to people, you can feed it to animals, and then finally to compost. That's not happening here in the United States. What's happening is it goes straight into the landfill. And
ridiculousness. It's almost reversed.
It is completely reversed. And so that pig farmer who we gave our food from the food bank has become the largest pig farmer in the western United States, because he got the idea. Gleaners ceased to exist, and then he began to pick up all the food from the casinos to feed the pigs.
Wow.
So here we go again. That, the solution's in the problem. The problem was there's too much food. We can't seem to distribute it. Well, let's just use it as a feed source for pigs, and it's created a really wonderful business.
What I find exceptionally amazing about that is this was back in the 80s when everything 80s was anti-eco anything. It was making money. And so what you've actually done, and what we kind of talked about yesterday at the Soul Conference, Carbon Economy Series, is that you don't have to be green, you don't have to be eco, you don't have to be a tree hugger, which there's nothing wrong with hugging trees.
No, none at all.
But you could be, exceptionally right-wing and
look at this tree right here.
We're just gonna braid together.
Yeah, exactly.
We get like Avatar. All right. Okay. What was I talking about?
You were talking about not hugging trees.
Right.
It's actually, it goes across all social and economic barriers. You don't have to have any particular religion or political belief or any color. Anybody can join the bandwagon when it makes sense.
It makes fiscal sense for large companies, right? And so they don't have to be on board with saying, hey, let's do this because we want to join some environmental movement. Let's do this because we're actually saving or making money doing it. So it's a good thing to keep note of. It's already happening in the 80s. So what kind of happened after that? Like, where did you jump into there?
Well, I became a health practitioner in a technique called structural integration, or rolfing. It's a form of soft tissue manipulation, and it's to get their body to be more symmetrical, more balanced, and longer. So with age, stress, injury, trauma, we begin to collapse. Our bodies begin to kind of get rotated, and we begin to collapse. And what happens is that the systems don't work as well. So I had a really bad sciatic lower back problem, and I was like 21 or 22. I was going to a chiropractor, I went to an orthopedic surgeon, to a physical therapist, and they were basically saying, we're going to have to do exploratory surgery. That sounded like a bad idea to me.
Hey, don't feel bad. When I was like 8, I literally ran headfirst into a Buick while it was running. I can't tell you why, but I've been through chiropractic since then. You know what I mean? And so you just do silly stuff when you're 8, and so it sounds like maybe you kind of did some silly stuff.
Yes, I had been doing silly stuff for many years by the time that I got there. Being a competitive athlete gets you into trouble. You know, you're trying to win, you're trying to go faster, and sometimes the body suffers because of those things. So I became a certified rolfer, an advanced certified rolfer, and the alternative health field brought me in touch with food. How does food impact health? How does growing that food impact health? How does the soil in which you grow the food impact the food that impacts our health? So all of a sudden I began to see all these systems that could impact behavior in human beings as well as wellness and fitness. And I realized, wow, this is even bigger. It's the link between food and health, you know, which wasn't really made by the Surgeon General until about 10 years ago. I mean, it matters what kind of fuel you put in your car, but it doesn't really matter what you eat or anything. No worries. So, and I realized I was making an impact, but it was one person at a time, 1 hour at a time. And when I reached my 40s, I realized time is getting shorter, and I want to make a bigger impact. And so I thought,
and you are, and you're making a big impact.
No, it's yes. We had 200 people
just yesterday
at the Soul Conference, and actually we're here at Urban Acres, and Urban Acres is one of the sponsors. They're making purple sauerkraut.
We just tried some.
This
is their own brand here.
Do I have any purple?
You do. Wait a minute.
Yeah, okay, get that out. Yeah, thank you. So, Urban Acres, when I came here 3 years ago, they said, we love what you're doing. We want to support you. Tell us how we can help you. Joel Salatin of Polyface Farms was coming. They wanted to be involved. And what I found was that permaculture design was the perfect avenue for me because it ties in so many things. You know, that permaculture design is about how are we sustainable? How are human beings, how have we been here for 100 or 200,000 years? And looking at those systems and learning from biology, learning from physics, learning from the process of photosynthesis, gave me the avenue of, wow, this is much bigger. This platform is one which can impact a lot of people. And so I signed up, and this is funny because I found out about an urban farming, it was actually called Carbon Farming, Carbon Economy series in Santa Barbara. I was living in California. I was living in Los Angeles. It's about a 2-hour drive. And I found out at like 2 in the morning, wow, there's going to be 6 courses every weekend for the next 8 weeks. And I thought, oh, it's all sold out. I'm not going to be able to get in. It's 2 in the morning. I signed up for all the courses. I wrote a comment, if you need more money, if you need a volunteer. And I thought, it's going to be sold out. Well, of course, it wasn't sold out, but I got to meet Joel Salatin and Dr. Elaine Ingham, Gunther Pauly, who wrote The Blue Economy of it's the Zero Emissions Research Institute, yeah. And then he came up with the concept.
One of the world
Oh no, in fact, I tried to bring him here 3 years in a row, but he was in Indonesia, so he couldn't come this time. 2 years later, I moved to New Mexico in 2011, or actually that was longer. 4 years later, I moved to New Mexico, and I started the Carbon Economy series in the Santa Fe Community College. My twin sister Maria, who lives here in Dallas, actually it started because my brother-in-law Daniel told her, do you have any idea what your sister is doing? And Maria's like, yeah, she's doing like some kind of seminar. And he said, you better help her. She has no idea what she's doing, which I didn't. I had no idea. They had put you better help her. They in turn had done thousands of seminars to hundreds of thousands of people and understood what the endeavor meant. I'm a business person, so I just thought if I sell 30 tickets for $30, then this is this amount, I need to have 45. And they were like, look, it's not the same to go to a company and market a seminar to the company. But to go out into the public and market it to the public, that's very difficult. And so thanks to Daniel, my sister Maria, my twin sister, came to Santa Fe 5 times in a row. And she was teaching it. She was the sustainability coordinator at Mountain View College. And so the vice president said, why do you keep going to Santa Fe? And she said, oh, it's because the carbon economy is here. She said, well, why don't you bring it here? So that's how it started. We started a partnership with the Dallas Community College District, and in that first year we went to 3 colleges. Last year we went to 5, and this year we're going to be in 4. So it's been growing, and of course people said, oh, you know, we're not Santa Fe, we don't like to hug trees and wear Birkenstocks and have long hair under our armpits like the people in Santa Fe.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with this.
Thank you. And so they, you know, this is not going to happen the same way here. And it was really interesting because I found out that the Texan way is pretty much to put your arms like this, bring your hat down, and look at your belt buckle and go, that's not going to work here, that's not going to work here. And so finally I had this one line, which I'm sorry to shame anybody into anything, but I said, you're going to tell me that a small little dusty town of 70,000 people is going to have a carbon economy series, and you guys can't have it here in the megatropolis of Dallas and Fort Worth? I mean, come on. And he's like, oh, no, of course, we can do this. And so, but we needed to change the name. So instead of carbon economy, we called it the clean economy, which didn't get people upset about their investments in oil and fracking, it seems like. But to tell you the truth,
Truth. I love truth. Yes.
But when you say clean, like somebody, so I went. This was from the governor in New Mexico. I got this line. She said, instead of using green, you got to use clean. Okay. Instead of using, you need to say it's got to be clean instead of green. And instead of saving trees, you're going to save money. So I said, okay, clean energy, that saves money. That's palatable to the Texas mindset. And so we started. And guess what? It's much more successful here than it is in New Mexico.
Way to go. Way to go. And I will tell you, I heard from, he's either multi-millionaire, he might be a billionaire, and this was just the other day, and I think it was part of the Carbon Economy series, but he said the way, if you want to bring more millionaires and billionaires and old money in, you don't try to change the system, you actually go after their generation underneath.
Go for the kids.
Go for the kids.
That was Travel Pro.
Yeah.
God bless him. And you know, he when I met him the first time in 2011, he said, I want to do Earth Day. Are you going to get a booth in Earth Day? And that's what I want to do. I want to have the biggest Earth Day in the world. And it was called Earth Day Dallas. And 4 years later, it's called Earth Day Texas, and it is the biggest Earth Day in the country.
We were part of it last year. Yeah.
Oh, cool. And so, you know what I said travel. What about the other 364 days? And he was like, no, I'm really busy doing this. Well, guess what? This year when he spoke at the summit in Cedar Valley College, he came over to me and said, I'm ready for the 364 days.
Really?
I've accomplished my goal. Let's see how we can work together this coming year.
Dude, we need air guitarage right now.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's a huge deal.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
It's not just, some, little tiny movement. I mean, things are really garnering, and you're really pushing for that. It's all kind of falling in place, and a lot of big things are happening here in DFW.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And, and it's because of people like you, people like Stephen Bailey and Joe that are here in Urban Acres.
Totally.
I mean, these people people are delivering food to 3,000 families a month, and this is food that comes from farms that are local and that are growing organic.
So guys, make sure to check out carboneconomyseries.com. And Iginia, how do they get involved? How do people get involved in these large things that you're putting together?
Well, you know, it's it's called the series because we don't want to just do one event. We want to do a series of events that make a change in the venue city. So October through April, we will be having Carbon Economy Series events, usually working in college campuses, but also with other nonprofits and businesses. And we're also in Santa Fe and Albuquerque, and I've been invited to Denver as well. So if you know of a great venue, if you know of a great speaker, we're always looking for feedback from the actual place, because each place has its own needs, its own requirements, and so I respond to what people want. So ask for that. We're also looking for sponsors and other nonprofits to work with, including businesses that want to be more sustainable. We have a great network here in Dallas area, and Texas is big, so let's just spread it out.
And here at the School of Permaculture, we're involved in this as well. So it's a big team. We're all working on the same movement together, and we're here to help everybody, and everybody who wants to help can come and get involved. You guys are awesome. CarbonEconomySeries.com. You rock. We love you, and we'll see you next time.